Hey everyone, Katie and Sergeant Steele here, and today I'm back with another 1,000 point starter list review. Now, this one is a little interesting, and I want to approach it from just kind of why I came up with this list. This is something custom that I kind of drew up on my own, and for a couple different reasons. First, I've covered some thematic lists, and some of the critiques is what it would cost to buy those models. That's fair. That's a very fair critique and something to keep in mind. So I tried to think of an alternative where maybe you do have to buy a few extra kits, but not that many. Well, what's a great way to do that? With a Lord of War, right? Okay. And you should get a Lord of War if you're going to do it that complements the rest of the list. And so, well, what's complementary at 1,000 points? And it's kind of really hard to talk about. But one of the things that's usually lacking in a 1,000 point list is anti-armor. So today, I give you the solution to anti-armor, which is the Doomhammer. All right, so let's talk about this list overall. First off, we have in the list of units, we have the Doomhammer. We have two 20-man blobs of troops. I prefer Cadians personally. We have a Cadian Castellan, but it's also could be a Krieg Marshal. I'll talk about that in a moment. We have a Cadian Command Squad, or it could be a Platoon Command Squad. In the back there, in the far back, we have our Field Ordnance Batteries. And of course, one of my favorites, the Scout Sentinel. And its ability to, be able to get us reroll once to hit. Let's talk about how all of this works together and the way you would function in this list. First off, the reasons why I like Cadians for small lists is because they do have sticky objective, right? They have their ability to get on an objective and then they control it even after they're destroyed and move off of it. Very critical, really great for small games. So they're very great for that. And here's the reason why I might take Krieg, though. So currently, this is pre-10th edition Codex. I might recommend, and I'm not doing it simply because I don't have all 20 painted up, 20-man blob of Krieg with melta-guns and plasma guns and a field marshal to give them a 5-up feel no pain and a medic inside the 20-man blob so they can resurrect models every turn. Then what I would do is put them inside the Doomhammer. So you got Cadians in the backfield grabbing your objective, Field Ordnance Battery directly behind that objective just to screen out units in the back corner there, and to lob fire onto enemy OBSEC units themselves. The Scout Sentinel's over to the side. You only got one, so it's precious. You want to keep it alive. So kind of keep it a little cheeky there, tucked away behind some terrain and maneuvering out. All right. Then the Command Squad. The Command Squad, and usually your Field Marshal or your Castellan, if you go Cadian, are going to pair up with the other 20-man unit, usually with melta guns and plasma guns, and they're going to jump inside the Doomhammer here. Then your Doomhammer, what it's going to do is basically one of two things. It depends on what you're up against, but it's going to rush towards the middle of the table. Maybe a flank, usually the middle. It may not want to go all the way into the middle. You don't want to get tied up in melee. It would reduce your ballistic skill by 1. That's not ideal when you're only hitting on 4s already. You have no way to issue this thing orders so it can hit better. So it's something to keep in mind. But like I said, list dependent. But you want to get it up closer to the middle, maybe a third of the way up the table or something, a little bit past your deployment zone. And that's going to do a couple things for you. One, hopefully you'll have the lanes of fire with the magma cannon to take out any monsters or vehicles, because that's what the Doomhammer specializes in. It kills monsters and vehicles. And what's our normal struggle at 1,000 points? Killing monsters and vehicles. Ta-da! That's going to allow us to do that. It also has las cannons and heavy bolters or heavy flamers if you so choose. You can take up to 4 sponsons, so that'd be 4 las cannons, 4 sets of twin heavy flamers or heavy bolters, plus the heavy bolters, twin heavy bolters there on the front hull. That is a lot of firepower. It also has 26 model transport capacity with firing deck 12. So if you take a 20-man blob with a command squad and a character, right? That's 26 models. You put it inside the Doomhammer. Excellent. You might not want to do that, by the way, because you may need orders to your artillery. So maybe you put the command squad or your Castellan or your field marshal something with the unit in your backfield, right? I'm just telling you what's possible. So you may want to split them up. And so say if you do, you put maybe your Castellan or Field Marshal in the back, depends on what you're doing. I'd recommend Field Marshal in the transport, Command Squad in the back. If you're doing Castellan in the back, Command Squad with the 20-man blob, okay? You jump in there, and then what you're going to do until you absolutely need to stop doing this is you're going to treat this like a giant firing boat. You're just going to shoot plasma guns and melt guns and whatever else right out of the back, because you could take up to 3 plasma guns, 3 melt guns, plus a plasma pistol. If with Krieg, potentially 3 plasma pistols. And this is, remember, firing deck 12. So then you're firing all those weapons out the back. Actually, with Krieg, you could take, I think, 4 plasma pistols if you did the Command Squad also inside, but right, technicality. Basically, the sum of it is a lot of special weapons inside of this shooting out of the back. Then the Doomhammer gets its automatic melt against monsters and vehicles, and you'll just be shredding elites, monsters, and vehicles in the middle of the table. Then your artillery and hopefully your other squad are plinking away at any of the other infantry or battle line units that are trying to hold objectives. Then you bring in your Scout Sentinel early on to get reroll ones to hit against whatever your Doomhammer wants to take out, okay? So you bring your Sentinel in, you come over, you shoot the Doomhammer, rerolling ones to hit, helping you capture those 4s, 5s, and 6s that you absolutely need, which will then also apply to the infantry. Why? Because the infantry are treated as if they're the vehicle when they're shooting out of it with the firing deck rule. So then all your infantry inside also get the reroll ones to hit. Then, don't forget, if you're issuing orders to your field ordnance batteries with your other unit you've left in the backfield there, or like I said, if you do the command squad, so you got the Master Vox and it's paired up with the other 20-man blob Acadians, and then you have 24-inch order range that you can relay back to the field ordnance batteries, they're going to gain sustained hits 1, and usually you're going to give them something else. Maybe you could give them like take cover. So if they do get, your opponent gets line of sight on them, they're just a little bit more durable. And with 12 wounds, they're already decently durable, those field ordnance batteries. I wish you could see them better at this angle. They're kind of hidden back there. Maybe I'll shoot some B-roll to capture them better. That's what you'll want to do. You want to be aggressive, try to clear the middle of the table, run up there, kill the other units, right? This is going to be a very shooty and semi-effective list. It's the only thing with the Doomhammer. It is random number of shots. It is random damage. So give or take, you could have a phenomenal turn, you could have a mediocre turn, but it just kills really well when it does hit. And that's something very, very important that it does. And then you're capturing objectives. You want to move your Cadians that were in your backfield if you don't need to screen your artillery up quickly and continue to catch the objectives on the flank. Move out, grab those, and don't dump out your infantry from inside the Doomhammer until you need to grab another objective in order to make sure you score enough points to win the game. Keep your infantry safe. Punish the enemy for getting close to you. Okay? That's what you want to do. Keep the Scout Sentinel safe. I recommend Hunter Killer Missile and Las Cannon on it. Let it plink at the enemy from afar. Once again, that anti-armor. You could also go autocannon or heavy flamer on the Scout Sentinel. Those are also other great options in a small list like this, right? Heavy flamer to be anti-infantry. Maybe once again, clear those side objectives. Maybe it could be ahead of your 20-man blob, going up there, just kind of shuffling out some infantry a little bit. Or with the autocannon, it can then kill elites and battle line infantry, plink away a few of them at a time, being supported with the heavy bolters from the Doomhammer, and that can really, really make a difference. Last thing that you could do to run this a little bit differently that I would recommend, that might be to split the infantry squads a little bit. So then when you jump out, say you do 10-man blobs, and then you jump out of the vehicle, you could go for multiple objectives. And that's really important because of how big something like the Doomhammer is. And so as a transport and you go to disembark from it and you jump out, that's a lot of room, because remember, it's 3-inch disembark, 6-inch move, right? Okay, so that means 18 inches, plus I think this thing's about 8 or 10 inches wide. Not counting depth, it's like 12 or 14 inches deep. So you have like a 30 to 32 inch radius around this. It's a bit oblong. that you a bubble, right? And when your table is only 5 feet by 4 feet, essentially, that's a big bubble that you can just jump out of and grab objectives. So if you split up your squads, that allows you to do that a little bit more. Maybe split up the Cadians, put one in reserves, have one in the backfield to capture the objective and run for the flank, and hopefully sticky it early while you clear it off with your Doomhammer and the squads inside for any enemy units that come to take that away from you. Once again, this is your opponent dependent in the context of the list that they have brought and what you may need to do with your tactics in the moment on the battlefield. But overall strategy, I think it would be a good idea to actually split up these squads in order to capture more stuff as well. That also prevents you from having to paint like a lot more infantry. Infantry's tedious. I get it. Trust me, I've painted a lot of them. So it's something you don't really have to get into, and you could just stick with a small amount of infantry, split them up, and try to keep them alive, hide them behind terrain, and put some deadly stuff in front of them to kill everything else off with, or keep them in transports until you absolutely need them. So it's a great thing that you can do. To build this list right now, fall 2024, we do not have the Codex. We do not have the new Krieg box set yet. So what do we have available? We have the Combat Patrol, Cadian Combat Patrol. What's that come with, right? Comes with 20 Cadians, comes with the Cadian Command Squad, comes with the Field Ordnance Battery, and comes with the Sentinel. Wait a minute. That's already like, that's more than half of this list. Well, you're correct. You're correct. Then all you need, and you can do it a couple different ways. You get another 20 infantry. Now, maybe we get the new Krieg set. You buy that. Maybe you just get a second combat patrol and you get some more Cadians. Maybe you already have infantry and you just want to use those. Infantry squads, Catachin, right? Whatever you got, you can do that. Your character of choice, whether Castellan or Field Marshal or whatever, maybe new characters come out. Ooh, just make sure you get the points for it. And then a Doomhammer. You could end up, like, at most, if this Cadian Combat Patrol is still available when you're looking at this video, that means at most you are going to go with 5 purchases. 5 purchases, and you have half of a guard army. That's a really great way to get in. It's a really great way to get started with your guard army, and this is semi-effective actually. It's not terrible. Like this like especially casual narrative play, maybe small scale RTs and stuff. You'll do pretty decent with this as a starter list that you build upon, and really kind of get going with. So that's where I think this is a great introductory list. You don't have to make a whole lot of purchases, and you could get in there, start building models and playing around with it, and have fun. Have fun with it. This is what this list is all about, really. In addition to like purchases for this, where would I go next, right? How would I take this list here and then upgrade it to the next level? Well, I might recommend some more Sentinels, both armored and scout. I might recommend a Roldorn, just so you can have a second piece of heavy armor, maybe on a flank, and then you split this up left and right. That can be a lot of fun as well. And you may even want to buy some like Ogrins or Wolgrins, and maybe a Chimera if you do Ogrins. Never run Ogrins without a transport. They have 5-up saves and 6 of Filament Pain. They're going to be gone when somebody blinks at them. So you want to make sure you keep them protected. Maybe you get 6 of them and you throw them in the Doomhammer, like I was talking about in my Doomhammer review video. And so then they can jump out and really harass folks. So that'd be a lot of fun. And maybe grab a little bit more or a little bit more artillery too. So a Basilisk or a Manticore, especially a Manticore, could be really effective in this list with that flat 3 damage. It's really going to help you peel away at the enemy elites. It's like Terminators. You could also do a Leman Russ. An Exterminator would be a decent thing for this list. A Demolisher would also be really phenomenal in this list. Well, that's it for today's video. As always, I want to mention just a couple things if you want to support me. First, you can like and subscribe to the channel. I'd always appreciate that. You all are fantastic, an amazing community. But I do know that only half of you that are viewing this video are probably subscribers. So please click the subscribe button. There is a big button at the end of the video that you can click. That is my logo that helps you do that. You can also like the video. You can also, I now have a new merch store. The link is down below in the video description. And so you can go to that merch store and check out. I have a cool hobby apron. I got t-shirts and mugs Check it out. I just got it started, so if you're watching this video right when it released, bear with me while I get new products created. I've just set it back up again after my old one kind of went away. The format was gone, so I had to create a brand new one. So please go check that out, and you can buy some Canadian Sword and Steel merchandise from that shop. I'll be uploading some of my own stuff later on too. Some more additional stuff. It's in the works. May take me a few months, but I'm working on it. You could also, in the video description below, there is a link to these clear acrylic movement trays from Squad Marks. I love this. If you're going to play Guard, if you're going to play any Horde army, this is the way to go. I magnetize all my models. They clip right to these, and then I quickly shuffle them around the table. Love them. So click the link below for those as well and get a discount. But I also get a little bit of the proceeds from that, so that also helps support the channel, and I really appreciate that you all do that. There's also Redgrass Games below. You could check out, those are the hobby products I love to use the most, wet palette and paintbrushes and so forth, for all my painting needs. And these are all companies I really do love. Table War also, the backdrop and this mat here is from Table War. I don't have an affiliate link with them or anything yet, but they're just awesome. They're just a good company, and I love their charity and the other work they do. So that's kind of it. Just, you know, I really appreciate the support, and I really appreciate you all watching these videos and engaging the community. If I've missed anything, or there's something that you want to add to the conversation, please get down in the comments below and let's talk about it. Share your ideas, share your information. The more that we know, the more ideas that we have, the better that we're going to play the game and the more joy we're going to get out of the game. So please engage down below. Let's be part of the community and share information and ideas. Don't call anybody, nobody's necessarily wrong unless the rules are literally wrong that they're quoting. But instead, we're all just here to kind of figure stuff out and share some ideas. So there's no such thing as a bad idea. Trust me, I give you a lot of them, even though there's no such thing as a bad idea. But just comment down below and let's have a conversation about some stuff. So, as always, have fun wargaming. And remember, Cadius stands.